reached the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. If you love us as much as you think you do, you should share us with your friends. Maybe leave us a 5-star review. It helps our show grow, and that's something we would really love to do. This week, Paula is back in the seat. We're talking about her migraine from hell and my hormones and how we're going to capitalize on it. Plus, we're talking about the annoyance of this toilet paper shortage and how that leads us to discuss some of our fondest memories TPing each other's homes in high school. This, plus some ugly and awkward moments of the week. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie.
Not a square to spare.
Paula.
And they don't look like my piddly saggy self.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 448.
I didn't know if my lungs were going to work since I just basically choked to death on a coffee.
Yay! Paula's back. I'm back. Here's the thing. I do enjoy doing the occasional podcast with producer Deb, but sometimes you need more breaks than I do because you are not as healthy when it comes to certain things. You have an autoimmune disorder. Mm-hmm. Just like you and me, we both get hormonal migraines. Things are a little different sometimes, and you need a minute.
Do you know, I barely remember sending that message.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I dreamt it, and then I woke up, and I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, today was the podcast. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I sent her a message, but I could have dreamt it. I'm like, she would have told me by now if I didn't.
So, with all that being said, Daryl and I are prepping to do our show, and I realized that I get really tense before we have to record the show, and I figured it out.
What?
Well, first of all, he goes, well, what are we going to talk about? And I said, you have nothing to contribute at all. Now, you and I, we go through phases where you just are not capable to, donate to an outline or a subject material, because your life is different. And I know you so well that if I put together an outline without your help, you're going to be fine with it. Because it's not like you don't get it, right?
Or the things I'm going to talk about were probably the things you were already going to put on there. So
exactly,
it's just
we just know each other.
I don't know what the word is, but I mean it's just the same stuff basically.
Yes. So I get tense, and I started frowning a little bit, and I go, I really want to do this, but we always get in a fight. And we always have to hammer shit out. We always have to delete the first run and start over.
Oh my God.
And it's like, because it gets into a fight immediately because he gets defensive because he doesn't really get my Ugg humor. I mean, he sees it and he enjoys it, but when it's directed toward him, he gets defensive. It's like, he's just not I'm like, you just don't riff with me. And if I say something funny and I can set Paula up to say something really funny in return, it works for us. But when I do it to you, you just look like deer in the headlights and you don't riff. You just sit there and go, well, yeah, I guess so. And I'm like, ah! So it did work out, but it was not easy.
Oh, no.
But it worked. And the show's funny. I mean, it is funny. So
good. Please
listen. But God, thank you I'm so glad your migraine has subsided enough that you can do the show today. Jesus.
Me too. God, I haven't had one that bad in a really long time. Like, it extended for days.
I hate those.
So, yeah, it was bad.
And there's no drug. Sometimes it's just eye masks, darkness, and no sound in sights, which is hard for a mom because that just isn't really possible.
Yeah, it wasn't. And so,
so it extends.
Especially with everyone, ask me every 5 minutes, is there anything I can get you? I'm like, yeah, you can get out of my face and stop talking.
Please leave me alone. And why is that? It's like when I have my migraines, when I get a real one, 3 days. 3 days. And I can count on one hand how many times in the last 12 months where I've had to be literally take to the bed and not move. No music, no podcasts, no light. I have actually put on sunglasses and headphones and just laid in bed and not moved.
I don't have that luxury.
No, of course not, because you have kids. But it's
Well, and I have Victor too. So, who wants to come in every 5 seconds? How you doing?
I'd be
Can I
like,
get
you know what?
something?
If
And I'm
I
like,
had a
get out.
it's like if I had a gun, I would shoot you right now. Get out.
Well, the thing is if we actually had our own places, I'd probably have more peace and quiet.
Probably.
Than him trying to crawl up my ass every 5 seconds because I probably just screamed at him for something.
Yeah, you're like, why are you trying to torture me in this manner?
He does that to me every day or every 5 seconds. Every time he's going to the store, do we need anything? I'm like, from the last 10 minutes that you went? No, we don't. He goes to the store constantly.
It's ridiculous. Did any of your medications work?
No, I tried aspirin, ibuprofen, I tried Excedrin migraine, and then it got to the point where I'm just like, I can't take anymore because I'm starting to get nauseous, and I know that eventually none of them will dissolve, and I'll just throw up pills and
that's even worse.
Oh God, I hate throwing up.
Oh God,
why is throwing up so unpleasant? I don't know what it is.
Well, you know what? And whenever I throw up, all I think of is like Exorcist Baby. I think of every time even when I'm ill, when I throw up, I think of like the worst night of partying, and I will be throwing it up.
All I can think about is being pregnant, and when I throw up, I'm just like, no.
I remember when I had my surgery. It's been 5 years since I had my surgery where my intestines were removed.
Wow, that's all? It feels like it was longer than that.
It feels like a lifetime ago, but yeah, it was 5 years ago, almost 5.5 years ago, because it happened in December. And I remember I came home from the hospital, and when I reflect on that whole time period when I was in the hospital, I tried so hard to get out of there so quickly that although I was allowed to come home and I was fine with it, I got sick within 24 hours of getting home because hospitals are disgusting. And I came home with something and I started to throw up. The night I got home, I threw up and I was laying there going, first of all, I'm going to bust all of these staples because I had like 27 staples in my stomach. And I thought, is this how people die? Is this what happens when you leave the hospital and you come home with some horrific flesh-eating bacteria?
Am I septic? Do I have MRSA?
Am I going to throw up blood right now? Because it was all bile because I hadn't eaten in a week. And, it was just, it burned like, oh my God, did it burn?
Well, you had that tube thing in your nose too. So.
It was brutal. And I told you when the tube was in my nose going down into my stomach and everything that was coming out was kind of a green, and the nurse asked the doctor, she's like, doctor, why is it all green? He goes, well, because some people eat vegetables, Veronica. That's why. Literally.
Was she like a larger nurse?
She was.
I wonder if he was a Dr. Marshall.
But I was laying there.
Freaking 10K marathon runner.
But when I was laying there and I'm listening to that, I did this smirk in my haze because I went, well, that's the first time a doctor's defended me in my diet, because I do eat a lot of green vegetables, but I didn't even think about it.
I bet you doctors get away with a lot.
Oh my God. I wish I was a doctor. I'd be like, my first name is Doctor. It would be amazing. Anyway, so in addition to your migraine, so we were both pretty much PMSing. I don't know how our schedules synced, but we're kind of scheduled around the same time period for our periods now.
I was around the first. I don't know what happened, but
as you know, my eggs are slowly killing themselves, and I have like 6 left.
The toy claw is trying to scratch the bottom of the barrel.
It's getting the smushed, cheap stuffed animals that no one really wants, and they're pulling them out and they're dumping
the Nemo
out.
eggs.
Yeah, the little emo eggs. I know.
No, Nemo eggs. Nemo eggs.
Oh, yeah, the fractured ones.
The cracked eggs that the barracuda.
With the bad fin. Yeah, that's all that's left in there. And there's the one egg. I can already envision it. I'm thinking about even drawing it. There's going to be one egg left. It's going to be male. And it's going to have a very large mustache a la Sam Elliott. And it's going to be down there smoking a cigarette.
You should paint that. Do you know how many museums would want that painting?
I'm just, in my mind, it's so real.
Like one of those vagina museums.
Oh my God. The last egg.
The last egg.
Or I'll call it OVA, the end.
Or just like
Something.
have it called the last egg, but do it in like, Italian or French or something, just so it sounds,
I'll do several versions.
Someone else would be like, can you, you could actually take orders and then say like, well, what does your last egg
What does
look
your
like?
last egg look like? Oh my God, Paula.
Jamie.
That's so good.
That is so smart.
Yes. So yes, I only have like a half dozen left. So because of that, my cycles and my hormones are all wonky. All of the supplements I'm taking actually have worked. So, I'm not skipping periods right now. But this last one, I started a week early and it lasted for 8 days.
What the hell?
I started getting nervous.
12 again?
I started getting nervous. And so, of course, I Googled it and it
What are
said,
you, passing clots?
No. It just was a constant spotting for 3 days.
Ugh.
Now, I know you're in a dry run right now, but Daryl's, our sex life is pretty regular. And so 8 days is like a fucking drought. Like it is a long
that's true.
time. So
He's getting blisters on his hand.
yeah, well, like I did things to keep him satisfied initially, but after a time period, I'm like, I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, I'm like,
That's my break. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm off. Because when I feel that gross, the last thing I want to do is anything sexual. I'm just like,
yeah, it's true. You're correct. But I did it early on and I said, this should hold you over for 4 days. And then, he's always so loving afterwards because he's just so grateful. And then it started going a little long. So I'm sitting in my room and I'm Googling, why is this happening? And of course, perimenopause is one of the number one reasons. And so I'm sitting there. So he comes in, he goes, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just Googling myself. And he's like, what? And I said, well, I can't understand why I'm still spotting. And it's enough that if we were to have sex, it would be a little messy. And I just wasn't really into it. And he's like, honey, it's okay. It's just different. And I'm like, I'm dying. My body's just starting to die.
so he's aware of the situation.
Paula, as if he could escape it. I mean, tell him everything.
Oh God, see, this is something I think I would like hold near and dear to me until absolutely necessary. Like until I'd be like, well, I have to go to the doctor. Why? I think I'm in menopause. What?
Oh my God. Yeah, no, are you kidding? I'm not constantly, I've kind of tamped it down a bit now that I really know what's going on. But still.
Like I'd be going to the bathroom like right before sex. I'd be like, hold on, I have to go to the bathroom, and like get the Costco size pump bottle of lube, and then be like, I'm so excited.
I have not experienced vaginal dryness or anything like that.
Much to mother's disappointment, I'm sure.
Yes, much to her dismay, I'm still fine in that department. But it's still, things are starting to change. And he's being super, like I said, you and I both, he's the unicorn of spouses. Hardly anybody's this good. Like,
Right.
Really. I don't know how I got that fortunate to meet him, but it's the truth. Don't hold on to that, producer Dub, by the way. It's temporary. My love for you wanes too. So I'm just saying.
So do your like meat flaps start to sag or atrophy or something like that?
My vagina, I actually looked at it the other day. It looks fine. It's not darkened. It's not it's not
It
saggy.
darkens?
Oh yeah, it can. Absolutely.
Can you get it bleached?
Would you bleach your lips?
If it looked like a dead peach, yes.
Like a dead wrinkled old peach that fell on the floor? No.
Yeah, if it looked like a rotten peach that was just laying in the grass somewhere under a tree, I'd be like, yes. Look, listen to me. I am single right now.
I know.
I'm 41 years old. I see the women out there. I used to think I was the hot mom until I was, showing up, dropping the kids off at school, and there's all these, taut moms in their gym wear with their hydro flask, getting ready to go to the gym for 6 hours and
Those
then come back and pick
basic
up their
bitches.
kids.
Yes.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm not that mom.
That is
And
definitely not
I'm going to
me.
go home and probably take a nap until it's time to pick up the kids again. And, I
Right.
just was like, okay, so, and these women are already married. What odds do I have? I'm going to be getting like the leftovers of the leftovers.
Yeah,
And
those paunchy single dads.
the ones that probably were garbage to begin with,
The guys that peaked in high school. Those guys.
and everyone's just like, oh, you're going to be working at a hospital. You're going to be a hot new doctor. I'm like, hot new doctors don't want twice divorced single mothers of two who are in their 40s.
Well,
that's not what they want. They're like,
You don't
know. And
know.
I'm like, shut up. Yes, I do. I've seen what they get.
Right.
They're 20s. They're fake and big and beautiful. And they don't look like my piddly, saggy self. And
We'll just have to see. I think you're amazing.
No, yeah, well, that is, well,
no, it's just that
true.
I'm struggling because I think you're perfectly adorable. So it's hard for me to hear, but I understand
Well, Jamie,
where your
you're not a
perspective
single
is.
doctor. That's a single male doctor, I mean.
That's true. Well, maybe you could play for the other team for a while. Who knows? They don't mind.
Jamie,
no, what I was going to say is maybe this is why older women have full bushes to hide the sad peach. We don't know. I mean, I'm not there yet.
That's what men like. Yeah. Maybe if I met like an 80-year-old where that's all they ever knew.
I mean, the thing is let's see. Full bush with a couple of strands of gray, like a skunk.
I do not have gray pubes.
Sad peach that's darkened and dying. No. I don't know. I mean, are those our only options? I guess you could do the vaginal rejuvenation.
You know, my body needs a rejuvenation. I need to start saving like $250,000 and get like a swan makeover.
All right. So normally we would kick off talking about coronavirus, but I have my own take on this whole thing. First, I know there's some very, very strong opinions on both things that are happening. Like telecommuters, social distancing, and all of that stuff. A lot of people are like, oh, just like 9/11, but we're not united as a country. We're all in chaos. I'm like, actually, if you recall, I was an adult when 9/11 happened. It was chaos, and there wasn't a lot of unifying initially. There was a lot of frightened people only thinking about their family, everyone hunkering down individually. But ultimately, we did unite as a country. Now, I know this is not an opinion that's been pushing out there, but I think the fact that we are all distancing, socially distancing, and all that stuff, I think that is a show of uniting as a country. Nobody is really going, fuck you guys, I'm going to go out anyway. I'm getting a lot of like, yeah, you know what? We're helping the people who are susceptible, which is the elderly and people who are, compromised in their health. And we're just kind of saying, yeah, we're just going to, we're inconvenienced because our entertainment is on pause. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I see both. I see people who are very concerned. And then I see people are just like, it's just media hype. Fuck it. Wash your hands, live your life. And
right. Which is also true.
I've seen people within the last 2 weeks go on cruises. I've seen people go to sports events. I've seen people, go to the movies and travel on airplanes to, various places. And so, I mean, people will do what they'll do.
I just think the large majority is kind of respecting the general premise that we need to kind of maybe just back up a bit.
I have different friends, but I mean, a lot of them are just like, live your life, just wash your hands. And I'm in the middle. I'm just like,
yeah, me too.
I know for us, we're kind of committed to just like, we're just going to scale back on, trips out. We're not going to, make it a point to go and do, be
a renegade and go, we're going to just sit there, we're going to lick tables.
Yeah, we're not going to, go out to eat or bunch or, go to the store like 5 times or, maybe, if we were, feeling like we wanted to, normally, like we like to go gambling. So that might be something we would have normally done, but we're not going to do that obviously right now because it's, bad timing.
I was one of the people who fully believed that the media was only highlighting specific areas of this country where people were cleaning out Costco's, grocery stores, Walmart's. I actually saw a fight between 3 grown-ass women fighting over the last package of toilet paper, which was absolutely hysterical and ridiculous, by the way.
It was.
I was like, yeah, ha ha ha, not here. So Daryl and I said, I really hate to tell you this, but we need toilet paper. And we buy the big pack because we only buy it like once every couple of months. So I said, we need to go buy toilet paper. So I specifically went at 9:30 at night to Target to go get the toilet paper because I did not want to be judged. I did not want to be judged socially that I'm buying a pack of toilet paper because I need toilet paper.
Was there even any?
None. Zero. I walked in, I said, are you fucking kidding me right now? I was so heated. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? I was so angry. Not a square to spare. Not even the cheap shit.
That's the thing I don't get though, is like, why of all things is it toilet paper?
And by the way, for the irony of this discussion, there was plenty of diapers, formula, dishwasher soap, alcohol. I mean, everything that you would need should you need to be quarantined for a month, readily available. There was a ton of hot dogs and meat and, milk. And so I said, this is fucking ridiculous. So we left. I mean, I got a couple of the other things that I needed. We left. And I said, I'll just go to the grocery store in the morning. I go to the grocery store. There is like 7 packs of toilet paper left, and that's it.
Oh, you're lucky. I was at Bel Air last night. They didn't have any. I mean, we don't need any, but...
Well, we did. And so I said, well, but they're all the little, because it's a grocery store, it's just the little packs. It's not like the big size packs that I need. So I said, well, I mean, I can buy one, but that's only 4 rolls. So like, I don't even know what to do.
That'll last like 2 days.
Yeah. We have 2 girls in the house. We go through a roll a day probably.
Right.
And so I'm like, I don't really know what to do. And so he goes, let's just buy 3 of them. I'm like, so we'll buy the equivalent of 12, which is still half of what we normally get. But I'm like,
and you'll
all
pay
right.
like 3 times the amount.
Well, luckily they had it on sale. So it was about the same. So
They had it on sale. What are they, stupid? Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Hello,
I know, right?
Gouging.
A little. So I walk in the aisle. I see that the toilet paper is almost gone, and very loudly, I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me with this?
Nice.
I am outraged." I'm like, "I am outraged." I'm like, "What is wrong with people? Like, I can't with this anymore, you guys. Enough with the toilet paper." And so I'm like, Malia and I were talking, and Mackenzie, and we were sitting here talking and joking about these fools who are stockpiling toilet paper for some ungodly reason. And I said, really, I think Europe is laughing at this because most Europeans use bidets. Toto, which is made in Japan, is a toilet that basically cleans your butt with warm water, and it also will dry it for you. And that is what most Europeans use. They don't use toilet paper. They think we have dirty assholes because we use toilet paper, and they think that's disgusting. They're like, why would you not wash your ass with warm water and, and then have it dried by the toilet, and then if you have any excess, wetness, you can just use a towel or whatever that is probably specifically made for your butt. Dry it a bit and then move on with your day. Your asshole will be clean as a whistle. We are the only country that uses toilet paper. So they're like, oh, those stupid Americans. I'm sure of it. So I said, I would love to have one. They're really expensive, but I'm going to buy one day, and I will be very happy that I don't have to buy a ton of toilet paper anymore.
I don't know. I'm not confident that it would get an asshole that clean.
You can get that stream of water up your butt if you wanted. You can give yourself an enema if you wanted. I've used one. They're amazing.
Like, it would literally have to power wash my crack. Like, if you've had diarrhea or something like that, yeah. I mean, you really need it to, like, even, like, break the barrier sometimes.
Think how good it would feel to have, and it's not a time thing. You can have it run forever. You could probably have an orgasm on it if you wanted.
Okay, that's gross.
I'm just telling you that there's a stream and it doesn't stop. Like, it's not like a time thing like your air blow dryer things.
What, does it have like a joystick that you can like, push it forward or something?
It does. They're so great.
And you can set it to like pulsate.
Absolutely. These things are amazing. So we were talking about, I said, look, if the toilet paper runs out in this country, which would be an absolute hysterical joke, back in the old days, there wasn't toilet paper. Everybody had their own butt rag. You just had a butt rag and you wiped it.
Buy some baby wipes or something. Jesus.
Anything. But I'm like, this is
they
so dumb. They
actually work better.
They do. And a lot of people say that and there were some wet wipes. I'm just not a fan of those.
Well, nobody likes them. They're cold. I mean, unless you have like a wipe warmer on the floor. I don't
want my butt to smell like baby powder or whatever. I don't know. It just is weird to me.
What, you just want it to smell like ass?
No, but I also just want it to not be that slick chemically thing on my bottom. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I know that a lot of people use them. A lot of men use them.
They do. A lot of guys,
it's because they have hairy butts.
Move on. Move on.
Why?
I don't want to talk about men's hairy assholes.
Oh God, you're obsessed with anals. I don't understand. I mean, what this now? You want to clam up?
I don't want to talk about poop, dingleberries, men's assholes.
So anyway, it would be nice if we could somehow move forward in our technology and just have these toilets more available to people. And then I was thinking, I'm like, I remember when when it just reminded me of the uses of toilet paper. And now, did you ever go TPing as a kid?
I just saw a meme about this morning.
It's
no,
like,
I mean, yes, actually we did.
Okay.
But they're just like, can you remember back in the day we actually wasted this shit, throwing it all over people's houses and trees?
I have a couple of epic TP stories from high school, and I was just curious, did you go TPing as a kid ever?
We did, but we like took it like to the nth degree to where we would TP their tree but we would do their cars. And then like one time we went to these guys' houses. They were friends of ours. We TP'd their cars to the point where we like connected them with toilet paper. And it like went across the street.
That's beautiful.
Then we put like Vaseline under their door handles.
Oh no.
And we, on our way over there, we pulled down a bunch of like yard sale signs and like, free
Yes.
daycare signs,
Yeah.
this was before the days of like Craigslist and everything like that.
Of course.
And we put them in like their car windows and all that stuff.
is
So like the next morning when they got up to go, they're like, what the fuck? It was funny.
Nobody does that anymore. Like, no, I don't think kids TP anymore, which is so weird.
Well, because everybody has Ring or security cam, or
you wouldn't get away with
the police
it.
will show up in 5 seconds. And
The two that I recall, there was one, it was the night before the homecoming game in high school. I think I was a junior. I was on drill team that year, and there was a bunch of us who decided we were making signs or something for the game. And so we were at a friend's one of the girls' houses, and she happened to be near a house where a bunch of football players were staying the night. Mm-hmm. So we're like, oh, we should definitely go over there and TP them for sure. We should go over there and TP their house and everything like that. So we went, got as much toilet paper as we could get from the grocery store. And back in the day, they would say, hey, we can't sell you more than 12. We're like, come on. So we would go in one at a time and each buy a 12-pack of toilet paper. So we had like 70 rolls.
like they didn't know why
Right.
5 teenage girls came in and each bought a 12-pack of toilet paper.
It was so stupid, but they would do it. And so
It's like getting ID'd when you buy cough syrup. It's so dumb.
Exactly.
One time I tried to buy like cough syrup and like
Sudafed.
Benadryl at the same time. They're like, I'm sorry, we can't sell these together. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And she's just like, well, because you have this and this, and they're not allowed to be sold together. I'm like, I have a sick family. What do you want me to do? And
I'm
so
not
I
making meth.
I had to go to a different store. I was so
dumb.
pissed.
That's stupid. Daryl and I have had to split up before. I'm like, okay, I'm buying the Sudafed. You buy the Benadryl because it's all meth.
At least you had a person. I was
Yes.
by myself. Everybody else was at home sick. And I was sick too. I was just the least sick with a car. And so
I actually have done that. I've gone to 2 different CVS.
I just looked at them and I'm like, I hate you so bad. I'm just like, sell me the fucking NyQuil so I can go to Walgreens.
Thanks for making my life worse and harder.
I'm like, yeah, because you can't tell. I already feel amazing.
Yes, because, this is how I look always.
Well, that's debatable.
I know. Anyway, so we gather up, we wait because you have to wait until like 2 or 3 in the morning. So everyone's dead asleep in their REM, their REM sleep. So we get in the car, and our friend Jennifer had a boat of a car, like one of those super old boats that could fit like 12 people in it.
Right.
Because it was her dad's old car or something.
Yeah.
So we drove and like, okay, well, it's really loud, so you have to pull down the street and then we'll just walk. So we're all in black. We've got our things. We have shaving cream and we're going to say, Hoko, and we're going to do it the street thing. And we toilet papered the shit out of this guy's house. And we knew there were like a dozen football players in there.
Oh my God.
What we didn't know was that his dad was watching us the whole time. He heard us. Because we're a bunch of giggling girls. We were almost done. I was throwing the last roll up into their giant elm tree. And all of a sudden we hear this, what do you think you're doing? We're all, and here, we all scream and we run down the street. And wouldn't you know, every single football player was watching us. And they ran after us.
Oh my God.
And they were athletes, and so they caught us. And
What'd you guys do?
Well, shockingly, is it surprising that I got caught or
No?
Okay, so me and like 4 other girls got caught. Our friends left us and took off, and we're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's 3 in the morning, and we're in the middle of nowhere in this neighborhood.
I'm sure all the neighbors came out and they were like, what the
Oh my
Sam
God.
hell is going on out here.
They're like, oh God, it's the Panoskis again.
This brick says burn in hell.
So we were required to come back and we had to clean it up. And they had to watch us and laugh at us. And
Oh my God, you must have been there until like 5 a.m.
So, well, it went, taking it down is not as hard as picking it up, especially when you just did it because it's not wet yet, from the dew.
Right.
So we pulled it all off and then they invited us in and gave us food and drinks and we ended up staying until like 6 a.m.
How funny.
The mom came out and she's like, listen, ladies, there's a game today, so we need you to go. We're like, all right. So we ended up walking back to our actually, they came back and then we all drove home and
oh my God.
That
was a mess.
It was hilarious, actually.
That is funny.
We loved it. And then the second one, I was a senior and it was close to the end of the year. And I don't remember specifically who we TP'd, but I believe we TP'd my friend Raquel's house. And she woke up and found us. She's like, oh my God, you guys. And so we're like, come with us. And so we took off and we were like street racing. I remember John Adelano was there and me, and we had gone to Pack and Save and we bought this pallet of toilet paper. There must have been 100 rolls.
Oh my God.
And it was for like $28. And so we all pitched in and bought it. And I can't remember who we did, but I know we TP'd several people's homes. It was one of the best nights of my life in my senior year. It was so fun. We had such a blast. It was one of the last big nights. Yeah, it was so great. And it was like 4 a.m. and we were just having such a great time. It was literally one of my best memories of my senior year was when we were out TPing and I was drag racing Mom's Honda Accord.
Yeah, I'm sure that
if
thing
she
was
knew,
fast.
oh my God, if she knew, she would have been so mad. I mean, beyond mad. I used to race her car all the time. All the time.
I think we all drove that thing a little too fast.
A little. But anyway, I'm like, isn't it funny that everybody's like fighting over toilet paper? And I'm just like, I remember when I used to TP as a kid and it was so damn fun. And I wish people did it again, but they just don't because, like you said, security. But I mean, if they did, think of the social media. It'd be so fun to see. I would love it. But they don't do it anymore.
Now you have to just, pay to have someone's house flamingoed where they...
Oh, or forked.
Forked?
Yeah, where they put forks in the lawn, like millions of plastic forks in the lawn.
That's stupid.
I know.
I think the flamingos are better, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Like if someone's turning 50, you have 50 flamingos put in their yard or something like that.
Don't do that to me.
Why? What would be so wrong with a bunch of pink flamingos in your
I'd
yard?
be mad. I'd be like,
they come back and pick them up.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't want a reminder. Daryl tried to remind me that I'm turning 50 this year, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to slap you really, really hard right now.
It's not for a long time. You know what? Just have them put you up in a super nice penthouse suite somewhere by yourself.
With cake.
With cake. I kind of feel about things the way I feel about this whole coronavirus is it's just like, or not give a shit and not wash their hands and pick their nose and eat it or whatever they want to do.
Right.
The thing is, what's going to happen is going to happen. So you can do what you want. You can try and be as preventative as possible. I think that's, a step in the right direction.
For sure. Wash your hands, for goodness sake.
And, I think you read about the fist bumping.
Paula, there are so many things. Like our hairdresser, he's doing the Japanese or the Chinese foot kick. The kicky foot.
I'm like, why can't we just say goodbye? Why do we have to touch? I would rather just live in a society where we're just like, all right, bye, and just like keep my hands in my pockets. Like, what's so wrong with that?
Like, instead of anything, I'm just doing the peace sign. I'm like, I've been doing the peace sign my whole life. I'll do it now. It's fine. I'm cool with it. I very rarely touch other humans, but there are people that I do like to embrace when I see them, and that will stop for now. I've never done the fist bump. I've never done the elbow thing. If someone I love dearly wants to do the kicky foot, fine, I'll do it. But I'm just not. Can we do butt bumps?
I just don't understand why we have to touch at all. I just, like, I don't feel the need to touch people. Unless it's like my person, that's different. But, or my kids. But,
Yeah.
like when I went into this meeting, everyone, and then like I found myself fist bumping all these people. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like, why am I doing this? So as I was leaving the office, I'm like, thank God. She's like, all right. I'm like, bye. I'll see you later. She's like, fist bump. I'm like,
oh no,
please. I'm like, I'm like, I know there's cameras in this building, and I'm like, one day there's going to be footage of me fist bumping like 5 women and I'm going to kill myself.
Well, the thing is, I mean, would they have required you to shake all of their hands multiple times?
I probably would have, but the problem is I'm just like, and I even said it knowing that it probably could have like possibly hindered my ability to get into this school, but I'm just like, why don't we just agree to say goodbye, or like
why do we have to make it a thing?
Like I said it quietly, but I was just like let's just stop this nonsense,
please.
Nobody needs to fist bump. And like one of the lady fist bumped me with her like sleeve over her hand, and I'm like, let's just stop, like,
can we maybe just not do it at all?
Like, God, clearly none of us want to touch each other, so let's stop trying.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, are we overcompensating because of this? I will tell you, Daryl and I went out to dinner the other night when they started saying, oh, we're closing all these things and Disneyland's closing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, that's probably a smart idea, considering Disneyland is a fucking petri dish for every communicable disease on the planet.
Well, I mean, how many times do those bars get touched before they actually get cleaned?
How many children lick those things? Like 1 million kids are licking everything in that place. Laying down, picking their nose,
throwing
dirty
up
diapers.
I mean,
it's everywhere. Those poor little character furs that they wear, things are filthy. I mean, I can't even imagine. You know how many people kiss those people?
It's probably like being a rug at the Playboy Mansion.
Jesus Christ. Exactly. So anyway, we were sitting at the restaurant. First of all, restaurant was packed. No one's staying home. Everyone is there having margaritas. And so we're just sitting there eating our food and drinking margaritas ourselves. And it wasn't like I want to, but now that no one's touching, you feel compelled to say, should we like elbow? I mean, so I kind of get it. It's this weird social thing where it's like, we're not supposed to touch. So now all we want to do is touch everything. It's really weird.
I just hide my hands. This would be one time I'd be glad to be an amputee because you just don't have that,
like
problem.
Don't got the nubs. I only got the nubs. I can't touch. Sorry.
Even if they did, it'd be like, fine. They're not going to reach my mouth. So
nub bump.
Yeah, and no one's gonna do that. They'd be like, no thanks.
No one.
So like, I'm good. Like, what do I do? Like, touch my elbow to it, or do I grab it with my hand, or like, what? That seems awkward. Like, I feel like I need to give you like a nub job or something. I don't know.
I've had this weird fascination. I've always wanted to put my hand over an arm nub just to see how warm and wobbly it can be because there's still muscles there.
I really thought you were going a different direction with that.
What did you think I was gonna do?
I thought you were going to say you wanted to be penetrated by a nub.
Paula, absolutely
Jamie, not. My mind has been in the gutter for like 2 weeks straight. I was being so inappropriate last night. Ryan actually said, Mom, I'm going to bed.
You can't scar your children.
I couldn't stop my mouth. It was just like we were watching the show and this couple who was kind of on a date. They're just like, well, let's go to the museum. They have plenty of beautiful things. I'm like, just take off your clothes. Well, there's plenty of beautiful things there too. And Ryan's like, Mom!
It's just funny.
I couldn't stop myself. And then one of our friends pointed out, he's like, you've been talking a lot about the ass lately. And I'm like,
you have.
I have. I'm like, maybe it's my inner person, like trying to tell me something. I'm like, this is a sad day.
It's so true. Okay, speaking of penetration, you had training to give your dog shots. How did it go? Were you nervous?
Not really, because I mean, it doesn't really seem that difficult, especially when they told me it's just under the skin.
Yes.
So it's not like it has to go in a muscle or anything
into
like that.
Into a butt muscle or anything.
I was thinking it more or less was going to go in like the neck skin.
The scruff, yeah.
But it doesn't.
Oh, where does it go?
Below that is like the shoulder area, like between the two front legs.
Yes.
There's a shoulder area. The skin is not as as loose, but what they want you to do is just find like an area that's looser, pull up like on the fur, and then when you do that, you kind of feel it and it makes like a little tent.
Yeah.
And then what they want you to do is give the shot in the tent area.
Oh, okay.
Like TNT. I don't know what I'm saying, but
I got you. And now, is it a tiny needle?
It's a really small needle. And then so what I have to do first is you keep the insulin in the refrigerator. You put the needle in there, measure out, your milligrams that you have to give. go over to him, lift the tent, and then just put the needle in there and then just quick squirt it in there. You don't have to do it slow or anything like that. She says the only reason why the dog might react is because it's cold.
Oh, yeah.
So I did it to Bo last night. He didn't even move, didn't even look, nothing. And so, of course, everybody was over there like, oh, Bo, are you okay? Like making a big scene. He's like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, the children are traumatized. They can't even go get a flu shot without making it a 3-day production of anxiety.
After he got it done, I kid you not, like within 5 minutes, he was like up walking around and like he came over to get like petted and everything like that. Like it was literally the most active. And then he had to go to the bathroom, but it was literally like the most active we've seen him in a little while. Like I think it kind of helped.
That is, and it's instant because it's instant sugar.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I am so happy that I hope it does kind of give him a little pep. So
I do too, and I hope the maintenance lasts for a while.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's do some ugly and awkward moments of the week.
Okay, so it's literally feast or famine when it comes to these, for me at least.
I know.
I had probably at least 4 this week, but
write them down and hoard them like toilet paper because you forget.
So the one that was funniest to me is because I didn't realize it was an awkward moment until my son brought it to my attention. So
okay, normal.
I stay up late, and so I was like, scrolling around on Facebook. And I saw this thing and I'm like, you know what? Ryan will like that. So I texted it to him and I went to bed. And then the next morning he woke up and he saw it. And so he forgot to mention it to me. And so later we were driving. He's like, oh, Mom. He's like, did you text me something last night? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, I did. I forgot. I'm like, did you like it? And he's just like, I guess. I'm like, what? I'm like, why? I'm like, you like Billie Eilish? And he's like, yeah. He says, but... It's like, it just was kind of weird. I'm like, what's weird about it? I'm like, I'm like, since she turned 18, she said she was going to like start showing off her body. He's like, I know. And I'm like, I just thought you would like it that she was in Hawaii wearing a bikini. And so...
What did you send?
Well, she's got massive breasts. And
she does?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes. And so he's like, yeah, I know. He's like, it just was weird, though, that you like sent it to me. And he's like, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I saw I had a text. I opened it and I looked at these and I'm like, what the heck? Like, he's like, I don't know. He's like, you're just my mom. And I'm like, well, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to send you those things. I thought you would have appreciated it.
It is awkward, and I have to remind you again. It is not your job to introduce your son to things like this.
Well, it's not like his father's going to.
I know, but you're his mother. You are not his sexual educator. You have to stop. He has to discover these things on his own.
How else was he going to know about the pictures if I hadn't told him about it? He really likes her.
Paula, you act like this boy has no idea how to function in society. He knows how to find those. He had
no clue. They had been out for 2 days.
So what? Why is it your responsibility to show him pictures of a young girl's boobs?
She's 18 and
okay,
they weren't just her boobs. She was just swimming in Hawaii with her friends and she was wearing she wasn't wearing, an XXL t-shirt that she normally wears with, workman's boots or whatever.
It's so awkward. You don't even know it's awkward.
I thought I was doing him a solid.
You're not. Look, a mother's job entails many, many things. It may not entail this. That's it.
Well, I got the message.
Good.
And I said, fine. I'm like, if I see any more pictures, I won't send them to you.
You'll just say, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to show you anything. I'm just saying that Billie Eilish might have been in Hawaii again. But
there might be more pictures out there. If you choose to look, that's your own idea, not mine.
That is up to you, son. That was definitely awkward. I have this really awkward habit at the grocery store where if I'm really hurried, Daryl and I will split up. And I'll go, okay, you go get these things. I'm going to go get these things. And I always give him the basket because he's always getting heavy shit. And I'm like, I'm just going to the veggie aisle to get like lemons or something. And I said, and then I'll meet you over here. And he's like, okay, fine. So we're like, all right, go team. And so I take off. Well, I have this really habit, like most people, is I'm heading toward I get my things and I'm heading towards where he's at. And as I walk by, I start seeing other things that I'm like, oh, I should just get this and this while I'm at it. So then I look like Rachel Ray on 30-minute meals where she's trying to take everything in one fell swoop.
She's got like eggs and lemons and milk and
she's like, oh, and I can get the EVOO, and she'll grab all the shit and try to get to the counter because she wants to do one run. So I look like that. And here's the problem. I'm so hurried to get to the basket. I'll turn down an aisle thinking Daryl will be there. I won't even look. It's like a faceless creature. And I dump all my shit into somebody else's basket. I have done this more than once in my life, and I did it again. And it's always some elderly person going, oh dear. I'm like, oh my God, so sorry. And I'm like,
I apologize.
It happens all.
Now, mind you, Rachel Ray has no breasts, so she can probably carry a lot more than you can.
I know. It's so true. So, yeah, did it again. And I'm like, okay, Daryl's at the deli. This isn't him. And it's always a faceless person.
You know, one of these days you're going to piss off the wrong wife.
Oh, my God.
She's like, get your shit out of my husband's basket.
Be like, who is this woman? Who is this? You know, it's always going to be.
Why are you helping her with her things? She can manage.
It's like, I have asked you a million times to go get a gallon of juice, but here we are. Look at this. Look at this.
God, right?
I know, it's true.
Oh, let me guess. You got distracted. That always seems to happen.
I know. It's so funny.
Oh, let me guess. You know her. You went to high school with her, right?
Who is this? Jake from State Farm. All right. Well, I think that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
No, not for now. Just on pins and needles to see. Well, this will drop on Sunday, so we'll hopefully find out whether the kids are going back to school.
Whoa. I gotta go. Yeah.
Oh, I told you. I finally showed Olivia the
oh my
the
God,
Grease 2 bowling scene.
Yes,
because I did the real like. You know, the high, that wasn't it, but I did the really loud one. And she's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, Olivia, it's years and years and years of practice. And I'm like, I'm going to show you something. And so I showed it to her and she's like, oh my God. And so when she first heard it and then she saw Johnny Nagarelli coming down the aisle, her eyes just widened because I think she couldn't believe it was a man.
Johnny Nagarelli.
Because you know what, when I listened to it, I'm like, God, that is high. You know, like, wow.
Adrian Zemed is the shit, man. And you know, he still looks good.
God, he's cute.
He is so handsome. Yes.
Yeah, but he's Italian, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I know. Yeah. We just
Zemed, isn't that like Greek? Well, I guess it's a form of Italian.
No, he looks Italian to me.
Some sort of Spanish? I don't know.
It's those goddamn Italians, I tell you. But
I hope your next love of your life is Italian. We've got to make it happen. There's got to be an Italian dating app that you can get on. There has to be something that we can do.
Yeah, you know what? They're probably they probably say they are Italian, but they're from like freaking Nigeria or something. Like, actually, you know, it's funny.
Nigeria?
I got a message because, you know, on Facebook, you always get like the message from the guy like, hi, we make it work. I marry you.
I have so many of those. It's ridiculous.
And so I got one the other day where it's just like, you know, this is a Roger Smith. He's just like, hi. He's like, my name is Roger. I am not from Africa.
No, you are not, Roger.
And so I looked at his profile and I'm just like, dude, I'm like, your profile got created like 2 days ago. All right, friends. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you had a great weekend and a happy Sunday. Please go to lipandclip.com and get yourself some makeup. And Girl Scout cookies are still on sale until the end of the month. So go to facebook.com, Ugly Truth, and click on the link for Girl Scout cookies. Other than that, have a fabulous week, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.